Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate the support. In this one, I wanted to kind of reply to a comment that an individual sent me recently, and I think the individual's name on YouTube is Assorted Blah, which is a very telling name indeed. But in general, the individual was telling me something about how I'm creating a sort of echo chamber in my life by telling people that they should unsubscribe if they don't agree with me, or cutting them off because I don't agree with them. And he kind of was like, you should really be careful. I can see all your insecurities, things like that. And it was kind of hilarious because I'm like, if you are going to tell me all of your insecurities, how about you start a channel and start talking about everything, putting yourself out there every single day, and then we can talk about who's insecure more than the other person, right? I mean, literally, it's kind of like anonymous people like that, trolls, who are not even using their real name to have put comments on a channel, and then they're talking about someone else as if they're a big expert on them, and they've never actually met the person, and they've just watched 1 or 2 videos of that person. But they don't actually use their real name even. Like, they're anonymous completely. How can you expect me to take you seriously when you're not even brave enough to put yourself out there with your real name? I mean, come on. By the way, I do want to reply to the comment that he made about the echo chamber, because I thought it was such an interesting term. I just love that, echo chamber, right? Because I was thinking about it after. I was like, interesting. Am I creating an echo chamber? And then instantaneously, an image came into my mind. I'd seen it a few days ago. And it was the image of a black girl and a white girl sitting together. It was a comic. And I'll share it with you if you remember, if you people remember to remind me, or if I remember. And, the girls were sitting, and the white girl was like, yeah, we're allowed to disagree on things, but we still remain friends. Hello. And the black girl said something like, yeah, we're allowed to disagree on shoes or celebrity stuff, but not racism. Because if you disagree on racism, then you're not my friend anymore, right? And I really hope I remember to share that comic because it's so perfect. But literally, that's the case here. Yeah. Again, I've never said to anyone, I'm going to cut you off because you disagree with me. I do block some people when they get extremely derogatory, when they're being extremely rude and actually putting people down using swear words, or they're calling people extremely blasphemous names, using the F word or things like that. When people get to that point, when they're extremely derogatory or they're not being polite anymore, then I'm like, all right, what? Obviously, you're a child, and you need to be put into your corner, and so I'm cutting you off. At that point, I will cut people off. But unless people are actually being derogatory and they're just kind of sharing their opinion, they're like, this is what I think about it. In general, I'm like, all right, cool, share your opinion, right? But if they do start becoming racist or transphobic or homophobic in any case, or just in any shape or form when they're not believing in inequality, they don't believe in equality for everyone in some shape or form. If it's like a woman inequality, or like trans people, or the LGBTQ community, or any person of color, in any situation like that, instantaneously, my answer is, get out of here. Stop saying all these because it's racist, first of all, or transphobic, or whatever it might be. And secondly, it's like, if you're going to say things like that, then I'm sorry, but you're going to have to unsubscribe, or you're going to have to get off my channel, because I don't want that kind of stuff on my channel. Because what I am saying as a YouTuber, which I'm not a famous YouTuber at all, really, literally, I only have 11,000 something people following me. I'm not big, so it's really not such a huge issue. But literally what I'm saying as a YouTuber, as a person who has a little bit of influence, that I believe in racism, because I believe that these people who are being racist are allowed to be on my channel. And I don't believe in racism, and so I don't allow them to be on my channel. And that's basically the message I'm sending to people by cutting them off, by blocking them, or not allowing them to make any more racist comments on my channel. That's what I'm doing, is I'm cutting them off, because I am showing to the world by doing that I don't believe in that nonsense. I don't support it. I don't want it on my channel. I have a small channel and it's one of millions. So if you don't like it, then you can find another channel to support, because I don't support racism or anything related to that, right? And so that's what I'm saying by that. And it's like that image that you've probably seen, and I've seen it so many times, I'll always think of that whenever I kind of do these videos. You know, if you are the 11th person at a table filled with Nazis, you're also a Nazi, right? If you're not saying anything about the things that's going on around you, and you see all these atrocities being committed, and you're just sitting there being like, well, you know, I thought they were really nice people, but you know, they were doing all these things. I guess, you know, if everyone else is doing it, it should be fine. If you become that 11th person on the table with 10 other Nazis, and you're not saying anything about the things that they're doing, you are also a Nazi. You're also a racist person. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that 11th person on the table, and everyone else is like, oh, you know, I'm just going to keep on saying racist things. And I, as a YouTuber and as a person of power on this channel, if I don't cut them off, I'm basically telling everyone and all those people on my channel who are black, who are people of color, that you're not important. I'm going to be racist to you, because by default, because I'm supporting these other people, by default, I'm being racist to you. And that is a message that I don't want to send as a person. I refuse to send that message. And if that means that I'm creating an echo chamber, then that's okay. Because it's unacceptable to me as a person of minute influence, minute people, just really minute, on my channel, that I'm telling everyone, yeah, you know what, you can make racist comments, that's okay, because I don't want to be a person who doesn't create an echo chamber. No, that's not the point of an echo chamber. All right, that's not the point here. You can say whatever you want about everything else, but if you're going to start making derogatory racist comments, then you're cut off from my channel only, right? You can go off and comment on other channels, and maybe they'll allow it, and they're happy with it. Awesome, great, good for you. Keep on going, right? But not here. Right? Because I don't want to be the 10th Nazi or the 11th Nazi, right? I don't want to be that 11th person. I've always thought about this question, you know. I've read so many books about the Nazi regime and, you know, what Hitler did in the past. And one of the questions that I would always think to myself, you know, especially when I read Anne Frank's The Diary of Anne Frank, the Anne Frank's books, I would always think to myself, you know, what would I have done when I was in a situation, if I had been in a situation like that? Would I have been one of those people who protected the people who needed it? Or would I have been one of those people who would have been like, well, you know, I see what's happening, but, you know, it's so difficult to speak up against it. Or, you know, I don't want to create any ripples. I just want harmony, even if it's fake harmony. And so, would I have become that person? Would I have been the person who spoke up in that time? Or would I have been the person who kind of just took it and played along with things and didn't speak up and pretend like everything was fine? You know, I always think about that, you know, whenever I read those books. Now, would I have protected Anne Frank? Or would I have been like, you know, she's here, guys, you know, take her away? Or would I have just stood back and said, oh, well, you know, it doesn't really matter. You know, I'm just going to pretend like everything's fine, right? So I really think about that a lot. And right now is a moment in time where we have the chance to answer that question. You know, a lot of tweets. I've seen a lot of tweets where it says, you know, if you've ever wondered what you would have done during the Nazi regime, you're doing it now. You're doing it now, people. And whenever I read that, ooh, I get a shiver down my spine, because I'm like, oh, what am I doing right now? And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I've become really vocal recently, is because I realized in my head, I'm not doing anything. I'm not speaking up against it. I'm not actually even deleting all the comments that are negative or derogatory or racist on my channel. I'm not even writing about it. I'm not doing anything about it. I'm just pretending like I'm, you know, not racist, or I'm a person who believes in feminism or intersectional feminism, or I'm about equality, but I'm not doing anything about it, right? At that point, I was like, no, either I do something about it, or I realize that I'm a useless human being who is a racist, because I'm not actually doing anything about it, right? And so at that point I was like, all right, let's do something about it. That's when I started the online publication called Rage Against the Patriarchy, to talk about all of these injustices in the world. That's when I started doing videos on these injustices in the world. That's when I started talking about all of these issues, because I didn't want to be that 11th Nazi on the table. I didn't want to be that person who says, well, what would you have done in the Nazi regime? Well, I would have just sat around and done videos on INFJs or something interesting and funny and not serious, because people want to laugh, and let's not talk about the serious stuff because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, and let's just pretend like everything's fine, right? I didn't want to be that person anymore, right? And so I don't want to be an echo chamber, and if I am, that's terrible. I don't think I am. Okay? I don't think I am, because a lot of people are actually still commenting, and I do get a lot of comments where people are saying things against me or saying things against what I believe in. But not all of them are deleted, because some of them are pretty polite, and they are logically sentenced. They're actually talking about things where you're like, no, you shouldn't be doing it this way, you should be doing it that way, or things like that. But as soon as it becomes racist or sexist or anything like that, at that point I have to say, you're a racist. I'm going to cut you off, okay? Because I have that power here, and on this channel at least. As I said, minute power. So I'm going to use it as much as possible. So I hope this makes sense. I really wanted to share this with you because I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why did she all of a sudden become such an aggressive bitch? I don't know if I should have said that word. Anyways, why did she all of a sudden become so aggressive, right? And that's the point. That's the whole reason for it. What would you have done if you were born or you were alive during the Nazi regime? Well, this is what I would have done. I would have spoken up against things. I would have used my platforms to speak up against things, and I would have written about it, and I would have fought against people who are being racist or derogatory to people who are in a minority. So if you don't like it, please just leave. Just leave. It's fine. You don't have to talk to me about it. You don't have to message me about it. You can just block yourself out. You can just walk away. You don't have to deal with me. I'm a minor YouTuber, not even really worthy in the sense of things, right? So go out and talk to someone else who's actually worthy of it, okay? Again, thank you so much for being on my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.